Hi, my name is Gabby and welcome to my channel, Gabby on Paper. In today's video, we are going to reset for the month of March. So let's go ahead and get started. Like always, we'll go ahead and start with last month's goals, so February's goals. So let's get started because I know this is going to be a long one. So my first goal was to read 5 books. I did get that. I actually ended up reading 9, if you can believe it. I did finish funding my boyfriend's birthday for 2023, and spoiler alert, by the end of today, which is February 28th, I will have funded half of his birthday for next year, for 2024. So I did get a massage. It was so good. I'm hoping to be able to do this more often, at least once a quarter is what I'm hoping, but we'll see. I did journal every day, which is exciting. I am loving doing it. I just hope I can keep it up. Last year I went until the end of May, so 5 full months, and then I stopped for the whole year. So this year I want to make it a goal each month so that I'm able to fill up my journal for the year. I did not sell / donate the items that I had in mind. I don't know, they're like brand new items that I haven't worn with tags. I feel like I should sell them. It's just, I haven't gotten around to it. And honestly, February was such a crazy month, so it's fine. We did go to one new restaurant. I only wanted to do one because with it being my birthday month, I wanted to hit up a few different restaurants throughout the month that I love. So the one new restaurant that we went to was called the Berghoff. And my boyfriend paid because that was the day of my birthday celebration. So it was my birthday meal. And it was really, really, really bad. He thought so too. So we were kind of expecting it going into it. We just kind of went because it's supposed to be like a Chicago institution. We went for the sign, which I'll insert a picture here. But yeah, it was really not good. I do not recommend it one bit. For Peloton rides, I did do 10. Yoga, I did do 13 Peloton yoga classes, and barely though. I did the last one this morning. And then weights. This is one that I really thought I had done. I was not worried about it. We did our last one on Sunday. Today's Tuesday, and I thought it was good. I went to double check to count up how many I had done for the month of February, and it turns out I only did 7, not 8. It sucks because in my mind I was going to be able to check all these off until literally just a few minutes ago. Donate clothing items. This is a separate line than this because I had a bag of items that I had pulled in January from my closet, 2 bags, ready to donate. And those I did actually take to donate. So that one I can check off. This other one up here is for a few specific items that I have that I could potentially sell. So that one I didn't do, but this taking the items to actually donate, I did. And then sticking to my birthday budget, I actually have a few dollars left over in my 2023 birthday budget. So that's very exciting. So the February recap, I was originally going to add it in after my March goals, but I've decided to do it right after my February goals. I think that makes more sense because I'll have everything on this page, on this like Google sheet, and then there's a separate one for March. Before I had January here and then the February recap in March's tab because of the order that I did things, but I've decided to move the recap to the month that I am recapping, and yeah, so it won't be at the end. So for the number of books, as you can see over here, I did do 9 books. My favorite book was 3 Days Missing. I'm gonna insert a picture, I think, if I can fit them all 9 books I read, and then you can see what I was busy doing all of February. So February was a big movie month for me and for my boyfriend. We watched a lot of movies. We try to watch like TV during the week and then movies during the weekend to kind of have like movie nights, you know. My favorite was for sure Mad Men, and I think that was my favorite in January as well. Yes, Mad Men. It's just such a good show, and this rewatch, I've watched it once before all the way through some years ago, after it had all aired, and I enjoyed it. I just forgot how good it was. It was so good. My largest purchase by far was my flight to Vegas for a May trip. I'm going with my sister and our friend, and it was about $270. I'll kind of go over the details of the flight when I go over my budget closeout in a couple of days. Well, that should probably go up next week. But yeah, by far my largest purchase. I think after the flight, if I were to take that out, my largest purchase or expense was my massage, which is expected. All my birthday purchases were a lot of small purchases, but still like less than my budget. My favorite purchase, I think, was a Hobonichi small drawer pouch. I'll insert a picture here. Basically, it's a Japanese pencil case that I've been wanting for a long time. Finally pulled the trigger with my birthday money, and I am completely in love with it. I wish I hadn't waited so long. It is expensive. They're pricey, but I mean, I knew that going into it, and if you're into like journaling and pens and markers and Japanese stationery, you know Hobonichi, and definitely worth it. I'm gonna do two things. I'll do a financial thing, and then I'll also do a non-financial thing. So a financial win for me was my dining out category. I was way under budget, which is crazy because I was expecting to be over, and I sent extra money to my dining out category, but with my boyfriend paying for my birthday meal, I didn't have to pay for that. And then when we went to Benihana, we had my birthday coupon that's like $30 off the bill, so it was less than I was expecting to pay. And then on my birthday, we went to a restaurant in Chinatown called Happy Lamb, which is hot pot. I think it's Mongolian hot pot, but they do a free birthday meal. And then a non-financial win, I think, would be my workouts. Aside from the fact that I didn't meet my like gym/weights workout, I think I did really well for February. I really thought I met this. I would have, had I known that I was one short, I would have made myself go an extra time, and it would have been fine because I've been enjoying going to the gym. But I'm really proud of it. I feel like I've gotten in a good groove where I'm finally like looking forward to exercising, and it's not the worst thing in the world. So I'm hoping to continue that. I'll do two again, like a financial and then a non-financial. I think a financial, even though I didn't go over budget, and you'll see more about that in my budget closeout video, groceries are a problem area for me. I am actively trying to not spend so much money on groceries, but I still come so close to my budget every single month. And last month I went over budget, so I think it's time to potentially adjust my grocery budget and maybe increase it, because obviously the prices of pretty much everything has increased. Because it's hard. I stayed under budget, but it was a short month, one, and two, like it was not an easy thing. Like I really tried hard to stay under budget and not buy fun extras or whatever. So I'm considering increasing my groceries budget. I'm gonna wait till after March so I can have a quarter's worth of data to look at how much I think it should be. We'll see. And then a non-financial like problem area I would say is sleeping in. I don't know what it is. I cannot wake up with my alarm anymore. It's been so hard. Like I've been doing a little better towards the end of February, but it still takes every ounce of energy I have in me to turn off my alarm and get up and stay up. Because one day, I think last week, I got up with my alarm, went to the bathroom, came back to bed, and fell asleep again. I really love mornings. I like the idea of waking up early so I can get my Peloton ride in, so I can get my yoga in, shower, and just take my time without feeling like I missed out on things. I like mornings. It's just I'm not naturally a morning person. I like to sleep. In a perfect world, I would be getting up around 5 in the morning, but I know that's early and I can't quite bring myself to do that. March's money plan is going to be a little different than what I did last month because I'm going to go over 2 different scenarios. March is exciting because it's a 3 paycheck month. And on top of that, I am expecting to receive a little bit of a bonus from my job for my work last year. It's not going to be a full bonus because I started midway through September, so it's definitely prorated. I just have no idea how much to expect. I'm just throwing out $450. I think that will be maybe on the lower side, but I'd rather be safe than sorry because I really have no idea what a bonus would look like after taxes. So that's the first part of March and what makes it exciting. The second part is that because I am 1 month ahead of my finances, any money I get in March is to fund April's bills. In April, we actually don't have to pay for rent. That was the promotion that we got when we signed our lease last year. The last month of the lease is free rent. So I've come up with 2 different scenarios. The first scenario is if I contribute to my rent like normal for my first 2 paychecks of the month. The second scenario is if I don't contribute to rent. And that is because, again, I don't have to pay for April's rent, and that's what I would be funding with March's payments. So we're gonna quickly go over both, and I'll skip the usuals like the bills and all that and get into the sinking funds. So I'm expecting about $18.10 in income. I do have a tiny bit of overtime for my first paycheck. I don't know if I'll have any overtime for my second or third, so I'm just leaving those as normal. I do have a goal this month. It was one of my quarterly goals to send an extra $100 to my Roth IRA. I am a lot further ahead in my financial goals, which were my sinking funds, than I expected to be. So the $100 is really not that much, but I am going to send an extra $100 to my Roth IRA between the first 2 paychecks. My Roth IRA is really going to be my focus once my sinking funds are taken care of. So that's why you see $321 rather than $271, which is what I've been doing each paycheck. If we scroll down here, this first section to the left of the black line is if I do contribute to rent. The first scenario is contributing to rent like I normally do, which would make me a little bit further ahead than the 30 days of expenses. And it is a goal I want to do eventually, but I'm also focusing on sinking funds, so I'm not sure which one I want to do. With our new lease, it starts May 1st. Our rent did increase from $22.36 for a 1-bedroom here in Chicago to $22.80. That's our new rent. And so it's a minimal increase. We did also see an increase in our ComEd bill from $83 to $107. And then we saw an increase of $3 for our utility fee, and that went up from $120 to $123. So instead of contributing $609.75 per paycheck to my joint account to cover our utility and rent, I'm contributing now $627.50. And that's my half of all of our bills. The big difference is down here. So I have decided to snowball my sinking funds. I think I do a lot better when I am working on attacking one thing at a time. That's how I paid off my debt before I even started YNAB, and it really did work well for me. What I've done is I fully funded the smaller sinking funds, gotten those out of the way. Then I can use what I would normally contribute to those sinking funds and roll it into the next focus. So you can see here, so dog is not one that I was typically funding, so I guess I'll hide that for now. So these other ones, so I have dates and stuff, my birthday, live events, anniversary and rideshare. Those are my smaller sinking funds, ranging from $150 to about $300. Those are all funded, so I am not going to worry about contributing money to that each paycheck or each month until I use up the money that I have in those categories. Now that those are taken care of, I'm moving on to my next sinking funds, which are about the $500 ones. That is my boyfriend's birthday and miscellaneous. And then aside from those two, which you can see are my focus on now categories, I also have travel, and that is because I do have a trip coming up in May, which I will get into when I start budgeting, so my next video. So with my first paycheck, as normal, contributing to rent, I'm just sending a little extra money to my travel fund. Normally I would send $100 to this. I'm going to send $200 to this, and that's it. So the first paycheck will likely be very standard. My second paycheck, again, Roth IRA, an extra $50. Fund my variable expenses like normal. And this is where I start working towards some of the other things. I'm sending a little extra money towards gifts, only $20, $25 to Home Goods. That's in case we need to buy something. And then $150 towards my boyfriend's 2024 birthday. His birthday is in April. This year's birthday is fully funded. I'm now working on 2024 so that those $50 that I would normally save for his birthday are out of the way. Which I don't know why I put 40 here. This should be 50, but that's okay. So anything in red is when I'm sending extra money towards that sinking fund. Anything in yellow means that that sinking fund would be fully funded with that paycheck. Now something to note here, this is the first one that I'm working on in March, is obviously this does not equate to $500, which is my goal. I am expecting to roll over about $250 from my variable expenses in February and send that all to his birthday, so I don't need to fund the full $500 from March's paychecks, only the leftover. So that's how much I'm expecting. I'm expecting to need to fund about $250 in March to get that fully funded. Okay, so that takes care of my first two paychecks. My third paycheck, it's a magic month. So this paycheck, I don't need to contribute any money towards rent. As you can see, there's nothing here and there's nothing in the extra, which would be my bonus. So with that paycheck, I am expecting to fully fund my boyfriend's birthday. I am also going to fully fund my gifts sinking fund, which would get me up to $700. It would also fully fund my Home Goods, which would also get me up to $700. And then miscellaneous would be up to $500. So those are now categories that I don't have to fund every month again, unless I use them. Okay, so once those are taken care of, the remaining money I am sending to my travel fund. I think that between these two paychecks, we should be at about $2,300 in my travel fund when my goal is $3,000. So we're still ways away, which means that $440 of my bonus would then go into my travel fund, and I would have to continue funding that, and it'd probably be my number one priority in April and May and yeah. So if I do contribute to my rent, my boyfriend's birthday, gifts, Home Goods, miscellaneous would be fully funded. Travel would be mostly funded, but there would still be some work to do in April. My second scenario is if I don't contribute any money towards rent. I do still have to pay my ComEd bill. I do have to pay still my utility fee to my building, but I don't actually have to fund the rent because that's already been taken care of. I do still send the extra $50 per check for the first 2 months, for the first two paychecks towards my Roth IRA, so that's all the same. The difference, again, is in the sinking funds. If I don't fund my rent, I would be able to fully fund my boyfriend's birthday. I would also send $350 to travel and $165 to miscellaneous. Wait a minute. I'm back. I found an issue that I fixed and now we can continue. But I think the last thing I mentioned was that I would send $165 towards my miscellaneous category. And this is all with my first paycheck. With my second paycheck, I would send $240 to travel. I would fully fund my home goods category, get that up to $700, and fully fund my miscellaneous, get that up to $500. So regardless of which method I choose to do, my third paycheck is pretty much all for sinking funds. In this scenario, I would send $680 to my travel category, which would fully fund that category. So I won't have to worry about contributing to that until I spend the money. I would send $525 to my Christmas category, $570 to gifts, which again would fully fund that and get that up to $700. And that takes care of all of the money from that paycheck. So with the potential bonus that I'm getting, I'm expecting to send about $275 to my Christmas category and then $150 towards electronics. So with this bonus, I am pretty much funding all of the sinking funds that I have left that are a big concern of mine. Honestly, electronics, even though I only need $1,500, so it's less than the travel, it's not a huge concern because I got a laptop last year. My phone is about 1.5 years old. I have the iPhone 13 and I got that when that first came out. And I'm not expecting to upgrade that anytime soon. The only thing I could maybe see needing are new AirPod Pros, not the Maxes. The Maxes are fine. I don't use them too often. But the Pros, I got them wet some months ago, early last year, and they've just never been the same. They're staticky. People can't hear me when I'm talking on the phone on them. So I am considering replacing them, but not a huge priority because I do have other headphones and they kind of work. If I'm able to contribute $25 and then $150, I believe that will bring me out to $250 in that fund. And it's, again, not a huge priority, so I don't think I'm going to be sending more money than just the $25 a month to it. In March, if it all goes according to plan, and if I'm able to send these amounts to these categories, that takes care of all of my sinking funds, with the exception of electronics, which is wild. I've reached my savings goals for all of them, and that would mean that starting in April, I can focus entirely on my Roth IRA. I don't know if I'll be able to do this, but I am contributing to my 2022 Roth IRA until tax day. And then I'm hopefully maybe, to max out my Roth IRA for 2023 before the end of the year so that 2024 can be, back on track and only focus on that one. I don't know. This is my money plan for March. I'll either do one or the other options. I'm actually leaning more towards the second option where I don't contribute to rent just because it allows me to fund all of these categories and not have to worry about those monthly. It frees up so much money. This is $50 that I would normally send to it. These are $100 each, so that'd be $250. This would be at least $45, $35. The point is that it does free up a lot of money that I can now focus on other categories, which is why I'm leaning towards this, even though I won't be as far ahead on my rent as I would be if I did contribute to it, obviously. But that's not a huge priority for me. If it really was an emergency, I would just pull all the money from my sinking funds and use that, and I do have my emergency fund. So I'm very excited for March. Lots of fun things happening, obviously, financially. We'll just have to see how it shakes out. And sorry, before I keep going, these amounts up here, again, are not really considering any overtime. I don't know how much my first paycheck in March will be yet. I just kind of have a vague idea, and I like to underestimate that rather than over. So these could potentially be more. If I get more, then these numbers would obviously change and I'd be able to send a little more money to that. Anyways, that took a very long time and I'm sorry about that. I'm actually filming this video in two parts. This is the second part, but I'm filming this first because I'm saving the first part for the end of the month. So anyways, so now we're moving on to March's goals, and I'm just going to take a quick second to type them all out, and then I will come back and discuss them with you. Like always, I have my audiobook goal, and that's 6 for this month. I have been listening to audiobooks more at work, so I'm able to get through them a little bit faster. So I think this should be doable. I also want to read 1 physical book. I don't know when this happened, but at some point I switched, this is years ago now, from physical books to audiobooks, and now I'm completely obsessed with audiobooks, so those aren't going anywhere. But I would also like to try and bring 1 physical book into my reading routine each month, at least, is what I'm hoping. So I did 1 for February, so I'm hoping to do 1 for March as well. I want to continue journaling every day. You're going to see this be a goal each month, just like many of these, because I'm trying to build routines, but I've been keeping up with it so far, and I'm hoping to continue to do so in March. I want to try 2 new restaurants here in Chicago this month. I just found this restaurant called Flower Power or something. I don't remember. It's an Italian restaurant, and the menu changes each day. So they offer 3 pasta dishes until they're sold out. And each day on Instagram, they announce them. And I really want to go, so I'm keeping an eye on them. I turned on their notifications so that when a good menu comes up that I want to go to, I can be ready to go. I told my boyfriend he has to be ready because I really want to do that. I want to do 10 Peloton rides. The one thing that I am trying to work on, not just with the bike rides, but the yoga as well, is that when I have the time, I wanted to do longer ones. I got so used to doing shorter, like 20-minute ones, even 15 sometimes. So I want to make sure that, like, if I'm able to wake up early enough that I can get the full 30 minutes in, or even longer maybe. In January, I could not for the life of me wake up on time. And on time, I mean the time that I set my alarm clock. I would always wake up on time to get ready for work, eat breakfast, pack my lunch, head to work, and get to work early, but not early enough to get a workout in. I've been doing so much better, so I'm hoping that continues so I can do a bit of a longer, Peloton ride. And I want to do 13 yogas. Honestly, I have not been feeling yoga lately. I'm really pushing myself to hit these numbers. I've been more into weights, surprisingly, which is weird because that's not normal for me. I had a quarterly goal to do, I can't remember, 3 or 4 a week for the first quarter. So I'm going to continue with this number for now, but that will likely change in April. And then weights is, we're going down to our apartment gym for now, and doing weights. And I just need to get stronger. I am so weak. I'm working on it, but I've really been enjoying this. First, I'll hop on the treadmill and just walk, do that for a little bit to warm up, and then we'll do bench presses and squats and deadlifts and things like that. And I've really been enjoying this, and I'll discuss this if we end up doing it, but we are considering getting a gym membership. Gym memberships are a lot more expensive here than they were in Salt Lake. In Salt Lake, you could go to 24-hour fitness or Avasa Fitness, and it'd be, $30-$40 a month, plus the initiation fee of $50 or $100 or whatever. But over here, it's a lot more expensive. I think the initiation fee is $250 each, and then for the gym that's in our neighborhood, I want to say it's $140 or $150 a month for each of us. So it's pretty pricey, but we're really considering doing it because we've gotten in a really good exercise routine. So it would be we would do it. It would be worth it. And it would give us access to steam rooms, saunas, basketball court, pool, things like that. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but when we extended our lease, when we signed the new lease, they gave us access to our apartment gym. So our apartment building has 2 gyms. A small one, it's very small. You may have seen that in my old vlogs that I did. Very, very basics, 1 treadmill, 1 elliptical machine, 1 weights machine for assisted bench presses and squats and stuff, and then just like some dumbbells and stuff. Very, very basic. The second gym is one that you pay to go to, and I'm not sure how much it is. It's either 50 or 80 bucks a month, and you do have access to like personal trainers that will come in and work with you, like in our apartment gym. But they have like more treadmills, and they have like more like weights and punching bags and for like boxing and things like that. So the point of it is that we're really enjoying the weights and going to the gym. We're considering getting a membership, but still unsure because of the price. It's very hefty, because my boyfriend is making more money now, but I am not. So obviously, if you saw down here in my, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, in my sinking funds, like if I were to like reach my goal in all of these, even with my new focus of sending money to my Roth, I would have more flexibility in my budget and would be able to pay the $140, $150 a month for my gym. I just don't know if that's the way I want to spend my money yet. And then I also wanted to drink less soda, and you'll notice that this doesn't have a specific number or anything associated with it. It's just a general goal. It doesn't fit in any of my categories, which is why it's all grayed out. I am just out of control. I've been drinking soda like crazy. I can't get enough. Pepsi, it's my drink of choice. At work, I mostly drink water, but that doesn't stop me from buying a Pepsi most days. And again, want to send an extra $100 to my Roth IRA. This was a quarterly goal, so it's time to get that done. I want to determine my trip location and date. So in November, if you've been around, we were supposed to go on a trip to Cancun, and we ended up having to cancel it, which actually was a good thing, because the day we would have left, which was Thanksgiving Day, I tested positive for COVID. So that was the first time we had it. But we had already canceled the trip, I think like the week before, because some things had come up. The first time I've ever had to cancel a trip like this, because everything was paid for, you know, with the exception of just like food down there. Hotel was booked and everything. Anyways, we're a few months removed from that. We just haven't had time to book another trip. My boyfriend, like we had a bunch of things going on in December, and then my boyfriend is now starting a new job, so we can't go on a trip just yet because he's brand new at his company. So I want us to take March to really figure out where we want to go and when we want to do it. And then finally, I want to fully fund for sinking funds, and that would be regardless of which method I end up doing. Either way, I should be able to fully fund at least 4. You can see here 4 yellows. Over here there's 6 yellows. So either way, I'm hoping to fully fund 4, and that should be doable. That should not be hard by any means. I just have to actually follow through. This would mean obviously no like shopping. Oh, that's the one I wanted to do. Okay, I'm back. I had to add one more line for my final goal. I forgot that I wanted to do this. I've been thinking about this all of February, and then I just didn't add it on here. And that's no personal shopping. In order for me to fully fund the 4 sinking funds, regardless of which method I choose, I have to be able to stay on track and not do personal shopping. So in order to finish the first quarter strong, I would want to end March with, again, no personal shopping. I've been finding it hard. I find myself going on the Madewell website and like Old Navy and finding all these things and then just wanting them and then just being upset that I can't buy them and closing the tab. But I've been doing okay. Again, I'll go over my February shopping in my wrap up and explain where the money came from and everything. But in March, I'm hoping to, again, do no personal shopping at all. No hobby shopping, nothing like that. But that is it for my March money plan and money goals. That is it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't done so already, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. Bye.